What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a new live stream. I cannot believe myself right now. I don't know what's happening. I've played around with some sort of settings on YouTube, and I thought I was going live. I was literally speaking for about 3 minutes there. I don't know if I'm live right now. If you can hear me, if I am live, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. If you can hear me, hopefully everyone's having a great evening. Today's video or live stream, we're going to go into some of the top cheap altcoins right now, because I believe today is a pretty good DCA stage, and we're going to analyze them together, or at least look at some fundamental analysis, if that makes sense. Let's go. Anzac's in the chat again. Welcome, brother. We are definitely live. I see more people joining now. The chat's coming up. Awesome. Excellent. Literally, I was like, you guys ever have a voice message where you're like voice messaging someone and then like you're like 20% battery comes up and it like cancels out? That's the feeling I just got. Awesome. Welcome, you beautiful people. I'm so excited to talk to you all today. What I was saying in that 3-minute interim period where I was talking to myself was, again, we're looking at fundamental stuff that I don't typically look at on the channel because I like to just provide value, right? Whereas I feel like if I just look at projects and charts, it kind of, I don't know, it's just a psychology thing that I have. I just want to provide. But today we're going to look at some of these projects, and we're stepping away from news. I thought I was supposed to do the Quant news, so that's what I promised you guys yesterday, but it's not urgent news, and it's not news that you need to know now to buy. But it's just like a stepping stone sort of bit of news, and so therefore I was like, let's have a bit of fun. We've been doing this, it's our 4th day now, so I was like, why the hell not take it back a sec and just say g'day, just start answering questions, because that's the thing, when I do news, I don't really talk with the chat, I don't communicate very much. So how are we all doing today? Let's answer some of these questions, and please remember, live stream, the AMA is going to be happening immediately after this on Discord, where we bring you guys up on stage. You can verbally ask me questions, which is what I love about it, and we can just have a good old chat and good old time. So I actually have the links directly to enter the AMA stage in the link down below and pinned comment. Long Hedera, okay, yeah, man, 100%. Live. Let's go, Caspar. Tony, what's going on? Quant price on right now. Lana, I'm not going to lie to you. Sneak peek. Oh, a little bit of a tease. I've got Quant sitting there waiting, ready to go. Quant's chart up. It's crazy. It's under 90 bucks. So let me just do a little bit of stuff I should have done before the live stream here and just actually tidy up my screen so you guys can see. Yeah. That'll do, donkey. We're back. So yes, Quant will be on the cards today, under 90 bucks. One of the guys that is in my team, Mark. If you guys are in the Discord, you'll see Mark commenting all the time. He's an admin over there, and he's writing the TA. And I think he told me that 84 looks like it might be. I think he said $84 is support for Quant. I'm not a TA guy, so I don't do technical analysis. I'm not staring at charts. I like to stare at tokenomics. That's my guilty pleasure. The only news you need to know is, Tony, don't leave me on a hanging like that, brother. Come on. Discounted QNT. Dill says, did I look at scale? No, I haven't yet, actually, man. I actually haven't even been able to make any videos the last couple of days here, so I've been flat stick. I will get to it, though. We might take a step back today and actually analyze some of these projects a little bit more that you guys talk about. Here's the thing. Let me just be straight with you. I feel like when I spend more than a few minutes looking at a project, I feel like you guys become uninterested. So I'd like to hear your feedback now that we're on that topic. If I look at some of these projects, I mean, I'm not going to spend 10, 15 minutes analyzing it. That's like a quarter of the live stream. But if you guys wouldn't mind seeing about, 5-ish minutes analyzing some of these projects, then I can definitely do that. It's kind of hard. So we can go into more of this stuff in the AMA chat because that's more personal. It's a lot more intimate. You guys can just straight up say, let's do it. Let's do it today. We can just ebb and flow in those conversations. It's all on sale for the most part. Yeah, let's have a look. We got about 80-ish people in here right now. Let's take a look, guys. Guys and gals. EGLD X Day coming. Hang on a sec. I thought X Day already happened. Unless that was a year ago. Damn, that was a year ago already, man. I'm literally just mind blown. Let's have a look. All right, people. I'm alfalfa over here with the one strand of hair poking up. All right, so Quant. Look, here's the thing. Okay, I've been saying for ages, what's a good time to buy a Quant? And I mean, if you guys seen my God tier portfolio video, you know exactly what levels I was telling everyone to start buying these projects at. Okay, it's well, in the most non-financial way possible. At least if I look inwards, what I'm looking at, and Quant's over $5 down from that right now, so it's sub $90. I mean, look, here's the funny thing, right? We're all going to start going to ourselves, oh, I wish I bought it, $89. I wish I bought it it might even go lower than this, when it's at like 110, 120, so in a few months here. And it's just funny how the world works like that, so we don't take advantage when the time does arise, and right now, it feels like that moment. It feels like that. Yeah, it can go lower, but here's the thing, all right? This is what I'll be teaching in my course. Again, this is something I've offered to the people in my Discord already. And it's like when you're looking to get into a project, you have to do a price prediction, in my opinion. And that's why you have to understand some of the more basic things that go into a price prediction that can be, let's use the word accurate very loosely here, because nothing with a price prediction is ever accurate, but as accurate as you possibly might be with the least amount of information, so anyone can do it. You've got to find these price predictions based on some of those things I like to teach, okay, and I have taught on the channel. And then when you do that, you can work back to find when it's a good time to buy. And if you're like someone like me who's wants the minimum on their portfolio 10 to 15x, let's be a little bit more optimistic and say 15x here, minimum, all right? Look at a project like Quant. If Quant doesn't fit that bill, if Quant's like, nah, Quant's going to probably minimum like maybe 5x, let's say hypothetically speaking, then you move on. Okay, and this is what you have to do. People don't get this in their heads. They don't do that. Why? Because they want to believe in the project. They get married to the idea. They get married to the community. They get married to everything about it. Especially if the founder starts talking to the community. Oh my God, this founder is so involved. And then it's just like, you don't want to believe it, right? And that's why you end up getting wrecked. And I can tell you right now, a lot of people, not my community, I'll tell you what, all you guys will. A lot of people, and it's sad to say, but it's true, will most definitely exit the next bull run either exit it worse off than they entered, i.e. they're going to lose money, or they're not going to end up with as much money as they could have had if they just played the cards right and did the right steps. It's as simple as that. We've seen it before. Anyone in the last bull run knows this for a fact. Okay, they've probably had it with their own eyes, experienced it themselves. And so anyway, I'm getting off topic. What I'm trying to say is we find these price predictions, we work back to find the minimum expected levels within reason. The minute you start hoping for the best, the minute you start to fail. And from there, you can go, okay, okay, so maybe $100, right? Again, Quant 15x from $100 is obviously $1,500. So, okay, I expect the minimum to go to $1,500. Therefore, I'm going to start DCAing at $100. And if it goes lower than that, hey, that's even better. You're not going to complain too much. Why? Because ultimately, you're just getting more tokens. You're just getting it cheaper. You already know at the price you started buying at that level was the level that you would hit your targets. If in a completely different scenario, in a scenario where it was all reversed, for example, you were someone who didn't do that, right? And you just started dollar cost averaging at any level you thought. You heard the influencers say, oh, it's a good time to buy. You must buy this project now. And then you start dollar cost averaging, okay? You don't know when the minimum's going to hit. You don't know what price that is. And then turns out in the bull run, you've calculated completely wrong. And you're someone who was expecting a 10, 20, 30x maybe. Some of you freaks out there, right? I know that you're out there. And it gets like a 10x. And because you think, here's the really effed up part about it, because you think it's going to get more multiples, what do? You continue to hold, all right? And then what does the market do? Crash. Oh, but it should have happened. Like it was all there. No, remove yourself from that. Don't listen to influencers telling you that sort of shit. Do your own research. Like when I say do your own research, I can tell you exactly what research you have to do. You know, for the people that aren't real true enthusiasts that want to know about the tech, want to get real into it, like, you know, possibly say I do, that's fine. You don't have to. Just understand some of these more fundamental things from a point of view of a traditional investor looking at a business in the stock market. All that rant out the way. Is now a good time to buy Quant? I think so. If you're looking for a 30x minimum, then no. You're looking for about a $30 Quant or a $40 Quant, right? You're looking for prices down here, basically. But if you're someone like me who's looking for a 15x, then absolutely. Because remember, we're not trying, okay? We're not trying to buy, we're trying to buy as cheap as possible, but what we're really trying to do here, what we're really trying to do is accumulate the most amount of tokens. Tokens are what equals value. So we come over to this example, I wanted to show you guys. I was going to show you this on the actual live stream I was going to do tonight, which was on Quant. But I thought it'd be applicable for this conversation, because everyone says to you, 100, like, so if you bought, 10 tokens at $100, I mean, if you bought, it's $1,000, right? You're investing. So to 100x, it has to go up 100x. Let's just say, you would assume, if I hold this for 7 years, surely Quant 100x's. Forget about the 2025 bull run. Forget about this. Look, 2030, okay? And so this process is because you're buying 10 quants and then you're selling 10 quants. Therefore, the price has to appreciate the 100x. If you come down here, now forget all this extra stuff, right? Just forget all that for a sec. Let's keep it simple, stupid. And the same situation, all right? And I talk about this in a lot of videos, but I want to really send it home and open up some questions here. Okay. So let's say the max goes to 5. Actually, you know what? Let's be realistic with this. Let's be real. Let's get all the people that are about to say, you're talking about too much prices. Let's say this plays out, right? So price goes to $5,000 in 2025. We play it a little too safe on this end. We sell at $1,000. That's just about, let's say it's a 10x from when we bought in over here, right? Pretty much just over a 10x from right now. But it's still 10 tokens, right? So we get our 10 tokens rather than holding for the long term for that magic 100x level. We just make a simple 10x and we get $10,000. What do we do with the $10,000? We got $10,000 cash because we sold completely our position in 2025. Again, what do I say 2025 is, guys? It's a friggin' leap. It's a leapfrog year, right? Essentially, it's a stepping stone. It's a lily pad. And so we then, in this case, let's just say we decide to say, saves $3,000. We save $3,000. Some of you say tax purposes. Yeah, okay, maybe a tax, right? Because we're not going to get hit with capital gains on that. We'll probably get hit with around about $3,000 on that. That makes about sense, avoiding capital gains. So in this case, we're reinvesting $7,000. So say in 2026, 2028, pretty much 5 years from the next bear market, the lowest it goes to isn't $100, but it's $200. What happens? What happens in this case? Well, we buy as much as we can for $200 a pop. And in this case, we get 35 tokens. So you see, it's not about how much you're buying it for. It's about how many tokens you can accumulate. And so because you have more capital, even if the price appreciates, you're still able to buy more QNT tokens, which is the major thing here, because you have more capital. It's as simple as that, right? And so therefore, in this case here, again, we've reinvested to $7,000. We buy 35 QNT tokens. So, essentially we 35x overall. And we make $175,000 off $1,000 versus if you were someone that just decided to hold, you'd get about $100,000. And this is selling it this is selling it literally half that. So if you sold at $10,000, you'd be getting like what, $350,000. So literally 3.5 times what you would have just holding it. Does that make sense? And this is something that I really want to teach people because if you don't understand this, you're playing a horrible game, and no one talks about it because well, I guess I never even thought about it. One day I was making a video for you guys, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make the point where it's better to just buy cheaper. And I was playing it out, and I'm just what the hell? I was this is wrong. It's better to compound. And I was duh. That makes so much sense, right? So yeah, how do we all feel about that? So nevertheless, we look at this. This can apply for every project. The key thing is, of course, when you decide to reinvest, you might buy over here. This is where we are right now, okay? This is the 2025 bull run, hypothetically speaking. Let me get my pen out real quick. 2025 bull run, where we are right now, okay? And so you can buy anything over here. You can buy Dodge, you can buy a Shiba, you can buy bloody Pepe, you can buy a Cumrocket coin, whatever you want. Doesn't matter what you buy because we're going to have a highly speculative market in 2025. As long as that project plays out well and you've analyzed it based on speculation reasons, that's fine. But in 2026 to 2028 over here, essentially the next bear market, you have to make sure your investments are projects that are going to stand the test of time. Think of it like this. Think of like brick walls and think of you building your favorite like car in like a zombie apocalypse, for example. You want to build and pack as much on as possible to bust through the brick walls. And right now, those brick walls are things like global or at least US cryptocurrency frameworks. They're going to have to make sure that they can push through those and they're already situating themselves. Things like ESG, right, environmental, social, governance, where they are scored upon those three factors, predominantly environment. So they're going to have to be green. And you'll notice the ones that are focusing on the Web 2 markets, they are promoting very green, sustainable options, carbon neutral, carbon negative, so on and so forth. And they have to break through these different barriers that are going to actually impede whether it survives those things that, you know, you can imagine they're going to come up like this. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe even a few over here, hypothetically. So if they don't do that, they'll die somewhere over here, you know, because it's going to get... Before the next bull run, after 2025, shit's going to get freaky. It's going to be like... And I think crypto might even be over in the sense that the market we know of today, this weird wonderland of scams and sometimes beauty, some of these really crazy cool protocols, it's going to be no more. CBDCs are coming, guys. CBDCs are coming. Let's answer some questions. I apologize for my rant, but I hope you have found value in this. We'll look at some more projects in a second here. I have a few more projects I want to talk about, of course. Let's catch up to speed. What's my price prediction of Glimmer? Razul? I think from memory it was like I think what it can achieve is like $10. I think, I'm pretty sure. And that market cap was at like 25 billion or something like that, which I think it can do. I think it can do that. There's a big, strong community behind Moonbeam, which is one of the factors that you have to kind of account for. What you got to kind of do is have a look at like how the project's performed in the past and how much it's grown since, and then work out how many more multiples the project could I guess you say consume because there's more people interested. Like, why does the price go up? Because of people. You mix good news with a lot of people, and it's kind of like a YouTube video. A YouTube video, you've got to target a video that's going to suit your audience. So your common audience that always subscribes and watches your videos, they want to watch it. When they watch your video, the algorithm goes, oh, okay, well, these guys loved it. Let's now push it out to unsubscribed people. And that's the effect we're looking for here, this onion layer tier thing. I am married to Hedera. Mark, honestly, I will never ever say that's a good thing, but I'm almost with you on that. And that's hard for me to say because I just said to you guys don't be married to projects. But if anything bad come out about HBAR, I will be the first to talk about that. Like I spoke about when I thought that the governing council unapproved the decentralized the steps to decentralization through the community nodes. I saw that they pushed it off, they cancelled it. And I was like, what the hell? And so I made a video on it, I think. At least spoke about it. Haven says DOT won't all-time high again. Interesting. I don't know who you heard that from, brother. Because Polkadot, in my opinion, will most definitely all-time high again. You know, these are the things, like you get some of these people that come into the question because they don't know a lot about the project. And so this is why having conviction is good for you, because you can almost assume that most people you see in the comment sections or you meet in any walk of crypto, they don't know a lot about your project, or at least more than what you know about your project. And that's why you having the conviction, you can easily shut them down. The minute you see them say something that's like obviously wrong, that you know is wrong, you're not going to even care about it. Like you're not going to even respond to them. So yeah, in my opinion, I think it'll hit it again. Like we look at the market cap as a rough guide here, of course. By the way, if you guys didn't know, Coin market cap has historical I use this all the time for my videos. I had a comment, by the way, of some guy today, I think I saw it, asking me if I ever use tokenomics or vesting in my price predictions. Every single price prediction you see of me, I always make sure I incorporate what the future supply will be. Because if you don't, it's not a price prediction. It's just you multiplying the current stuff. It's not a prediction at all. So always, when you're working out price of anything, it's what you think the market cap will be. The market cap divided by the circulating supply, the issuance of tokens. I see people all the time. I think I saw Crypto Mason talk about how price is the true thing here and not the market cap. Market cap's a construction. Market cap's not a real thing. Well, no, he's wrong, because you need market cap to find price. Price doesn't magically pop up. How do you assume price? How do you assume price? Like, okay, well, how many are in if I have one coin, you have one coin, there's 2 coins. So you might want to sell that one coin for $1 million. I might want to sell it for $1. Meet in the middle, 500K, whatever that works out to be. But when you have more of them, then the market can decide what that is. But of course, then you can kind of calculate how much money is circulating around that, right? Where am I looking here? Yeah, so you guys can come and look all the way back, I think, until 2012, 2013, April. Wow, I actually have never clicked onto that before. Damn, that's kind of freaky to look at. $1.5 billion market cap for the big girl. Yeah, and so like this is what I'll do sometimes, right? I'll go. So it doesn't have every single day, but like for the most part, if you're like looking for price predictions based on past events, past whatever it might be, just jump in here. 2018, for example, let's just say May 8th was a point in your project where you wanted to have a look at. There was Masari or something said there was a massive dump of tokens. You just jump in here and come down here, and maybe your project was Steam. Okay, Steam's market cap was X. The amount of tokens in circulation was X. It might be a day or two off. That's fine. You can just use that as a rough figure. No one's going to kill you over a rounding error. Anyway. What else we got here, people? Yeah, so 619 brings up a good point. A 10x is often overlooked by many people as something that doesn't really matter. A 10x, I want a 50x, 100x. It's like, you imagine going to Santa Claus and saying, you're getting a present on Christmas Day and going, you motherfucker, I wanted a bigger present than that. Fuck you. No, you're going to get that present and you're going to forget about anything that else happened, whatever else you asked for, and that present's sitting in front of you and you're bloody excited about it, right? That's the same thing. Like when you see a 10x in front of your eyes, you don't give a shit about anything else. But that is where the human mind, how people have always been like attached to gold and like shiny things, like you see in movies, like very, very stereotypically, right? And it's true, right? You walk into a jeweler and you're like, oh my God, I want all this. This is cool. Look how shiny it is, right? And so it's funny because that's the same sort of thing that applies. In this case, when we see these multiples come up, we're like, I want more. And that's when people forget about exit strategies they never had in planned, which we should be doing now, at least getting that framework built out. And then so when all the price pops up, what happens? Hey, I want to, it's with 10x so far. My friend was this exact same situation with Veracity. You guys might know that project. And he'd have 5x, and I said, bro, take some profit. He goes, no, it's going to go up more, bro. We've got plenty more to go. No analysis, of course. And then he lost all of it, and he's still holding to this day. And he's like, he's constantly talking about regretting it. And I said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I told you once. So yes. EWT could definitely be a good pick there. Barry mentions a project called L1X. No, I have not heard of L1X, to be honest. L1X. Speaking of, no. I'm guessing that might be it, hey. New project there. Is Layer 0 even released yet? No. Yeah, there's a new project coming out. You guys obviously probably heard of it. Layer 0. It's going to be an interesting project. I think that's going to have quite a bit of hype. I don't know if it's going to have a token just yet though, but if it ever does, it's definitely one to look at. But one a lot of you guys should know from, they're not going to have a coin either, from my videos is a project called Nillion. Now, if you haven't looked into Nillion before, if you haven't seen anything about it, don't click away, pay attention. I'm not going to go into it much. I'm just going to say this project has the resources to actually come to life. And if it comes to life, I guarantee you right now, this is going to be a big, big, big project where I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's going to be right next to Bitcoin and Ethereum like everyone else will say about their favorite project. But I think that this project will most definitely hit top 100 because the team have built many projects before. One of them is Hedera, our beloved. And these guys essentially they invented what's called nil message compute. It's a form of, it's a form of Samir secret sharing, but you guys probably don't know what that is, or multi-party computation. But essentially what it basically does is allows you to compute on distributed information and data. It's kind of like pretty much, so if you guys know Flux, Render, like cloud basic infrastructure, it's essentially that, but allows you to do more things. Because of the way it handles data, it can actually be extremely secure as well, to the point of it's literally impossible to hack. It's well past quantum secure. And again, you can so essentially when you input data to store, you can store your private keys on this thing. Literally store your private keys on this thing. You submit something to Nillion and it'll secure it extremely well cryptographically. And then it'll get that cryptographic share, essentially the piece of data. It'll send it out to the whole network. But what it does first is shreds it and then burns it. And then so it's literally just means nothing to individual nodes. And then the nodes, when you want to do something with the data, the nodes store a little tiny, again, piece of dust on their computer. It means nothing to them. And they're just told to run a computation on it. And then when it runs a computation, they just spit that back into the network as far as I'm aware, and then that gets rebuilt at the end. And there's a certain limit where a certain amount of these shares, this bit of dust from everyone from all over the world, these nodes, when it comes together, then it reforms the package, and then I think unencrypts it from the end. So it's very secure. And again, you can run nodes on this as far as I'm aware, at least in future. It's all novel technology, so I'm guessing there's a few hurdles they have to jump over first, but yeah, it's brilliant stuff. This will put an end to, I'm talking this will literally put an end to a lot of existing infrastructure. I could see, when I did my research, I'm pretty sure that they were looking at getting a private instance for governments and stuff. So they'll obviously, just like most good networks, public and private instance, of course. And I think that they were going to, they have the team, at least I know for sure, to be able to send that off to some governments. Who knows what the capabilities are with this. But anyway, I believe the token is coming out later this year. I thought I remember seeing Q3 2023. But by the look of it, I'm guessing it's probably going to obviously be Q4. Right? So, and you guys can't see, can you? I did it again, right? I did it again. So yeah, anyway, this is Nillion over here. Nillion. I'll put it in the chat. If you guys check them out, I'm not affiliated in any way with them. I've just known about them for a very long time. If you jump in the community, tell them who sent you. That'd be sick. Let's look at some more questions here. What's my thoughts, William says, on EGLD? Good question. I love it. Where are you? I thought I had it up here. No, maybe not. I have some very good friends of mine that come from the EGLD community that I met through Elrond. Well, sorry, MultiverseX now, right? It's got a fantastic sharding approach. It's just somewhat recently brought in what's called sovereign shards, which means that sovereign, right? They're pretty much independent networks in their own right, and they can choose to report back to the main chain, the public network, and say, "Hey guys, we've got something for another chain, or we have something that one of our users wants to send a package away to the main network," and that'll obviously mean that the EGL token will be needed for those fees. Other than that, from what I remember, they don't need to run the EGLD token on those sovereign shards, which for those in layman's terms pretty much means there's no actual demand for the token in that case, which means the price can't appreciate. or at least, if Amazon was to decide to build a sovereign shard, there's no need to run the actual token. I could be corrected in that situation. Maybe the nodes that run these sovereign shards that support the infrastructure, they might need to stake EGLD, but that might be the extent of it. I love the project. It's got a really, really unique, well, I shouldn't say unique, it's just a very hard sharding approach to pull off. They're sharding all 3 layers. They're sharding network, state, and transaction, all of it, which means it can just grow and shrink depending on demand entirely. Pretty cool. And it's a very low price right now, okay? So we're talking $26 and $460. Super low supply of BTW. 25 million tokens. We're 82% of the way there. 31 million tokens max supply. Come on, guys. Every single token that has a fixed max supply, naturally, just like Bitcoin, has a somewhat of a burn mechanism built into it. Just because people die, people lose their keys, people F up when they transfer funds, all that sort of fun stuff happens. So that won't actually ever be in circulation, I can tell you that. And you can pit Near Protocol and this project against each other because it's interesting. So when you look at the two projects, what's the fundamental difference between the two? Well, MultiverseX basically, aside from a whole host of whatever else they're doing, shards all those 3 things, which means network. So the nodes at the very foundation, they can be split and process their own shards themselves, their own little networks that can report back to the main network. Shards transactions, so transactions don't have to be processed one after the next, after the next, after the next. They can be split into the shards, okay, which means that the nodes can process individual transactions at the same time. And then state's the really hard thing to shard, which is, oh shit, I'm gonna forget this now because I haven't really dove into that for a while. What does sharding the state do? The state of the network. Oh. Yeah, I'm feeling the pressure right now. I'm gonna forget. This is what happens when you don't practice if you don't use it, you lose it. That's what they say, right? I'll jog my memory. Yeah. Hey, look, see what comes up? ASS. Adaptive state sharding. I love how they call it adaptive state sharding. Hey, I just love that acronym, ASS. Well, as you Americans say, ass. I can't say that word. I just don't like it. Okay, let's have a look. All right. Yeah, so the good thing is they shuffle the nodes, so the nodes will be just randomly. So after an epoch or a series of epochs, an epoch is just a period of time, predefined by blocks. How many blocks? 210,000 blocks is technically an epoch for Bitcoin, right? Which is a halving, we could technically say. So sometimes it runs off time, sometimes it runs off number of blocks, and then things like payments to nodes are given for, validating the network and things like that. But I apologize. Let me have a look. State. And I want to find this because this is the difference between MultiverseX, Elrond, EGLD, and Near Protocol. This is the difference. Here we go. So, state sharding is the most challenging approach in contrast to the previously described sharding mechanisms where all the nodes store the entire state. Oh yeah, of course, right? So the nodes have to store the entire blockchain history. So when you have again the network and the transactions, they shard the transactions. They can be processed. I think the word is asynchronously, so they can produce them at the same time simultaneously. And then the network sharding means the nodes, again, can do that independently. So they break up in their own little networks. And then state sharding is the hardest because the nodes, the reason why it's the hardest is because the nodes on each of these independent shards essentially only have to store all the information that happens within that shard itself. The reason why it's extremely hard is because you've got, let's say, 10 different shards in the main network. So that means you've got groups of nodes that don't know what's happening on a different shard. They only store what's on their individual network. And when you try to do what the hard part of all this and do what MultiverseX is doing with this, reshuffling, is see this network over here, this red network? These are all independent networks. Yellow, green, blue, red. They're all independent, right? They're on their, sovereign shards, let's say. And then so to reshuffle the nodes, because that's what you should do for security, because then they will begin to, bad guys will begin to, they'll begin to get together. And the reason why that's bad is because you no longer have a network like Bitcoin of 15,000 nodes. You have, a network of 150 nodes broken up in 10 or 100 different ways, that's the scary part, because then it's very easy to come together and then take it over. And once you typically have one shard, you can get the whole network. And so what happens is they try to reshuffle to get rid of that security issue. And when they reshuffle, it's hard because every single node, they're going to have, all you see, this is red, blue, yellow, These all have different states on them. They don't have, you don't know what the yellow guy's got. The yellow guy doesn't know what the red guy's got, and so on and so forth. That's the really hard part. And that's what Elrond MultiverseX essentially has fixed here, which is why I like it. Now, the difference between this and Near Protocol, long story long, is that Near Protocol doesn't shard network, as far as I'm aware. It shards transactions, it shards the state, but instead of it happening independently like that, they're all sort of happening together. Just the nodes are doing different things, basically. It's fidgety. But this is harder to do, but I kind of like Near Protocol's solution because the network is much faster and they get the same benefits. Not to say it's like, we're talking about, tomato, tomato. Tomato, tomato. That was my long answer to that question. Tony says, how do I know? Nillion makes Ledger dead. Yeah, exactly, Mark. Nillion makes Ledger dead, literally, man. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, finding value, let me know by hitting the like button. And by the way, please let me know if my little tangents are too technical or too boring, because I just won't go into that level of detail sometimes. It's kind of hard with an audience because I still don't know what my exact audience is, what you guys really want to see. So I'm still trying to perfect that. So I only can perfect it if you guys let me know, hey? So Jack says, what do I think about this portfolio? BTC, ICP, QNT, ARB, OP, TAO, AR. That's a good portfolio. It depends how much you've bought of each, though. That's like where it really comes in, because you might have 90% of that in BTC. Therefore, I would think that's a crap portfolio, personally. Unless you've got a few $1 million, then I would say, good on you, Jack. I would say, send over a couple over here, please. But in terms of like just overlooking the projects themselves, yeah, I would say it's pretty good. I can see what you're going for here. Your portfolio, and it's kind of cool looking at people's portfolios because it really is like it's like looking through, it's like looking into their soul, but looking into like what they actually like as a person. Yeah. Price prediction on H-bar. So this is going to sound kind of stupid, but 69 cents was my minimum prediction, and I could have rounded up like I normally do to 70 cents. I could have, but why? When it comes out to 69 cents was my price prediction for that project, and again, teach you guys how to do this, then, yeah, why round up? That just sounds stupid, right? So my max was like, I think reasonably $2, but I think $200 billion market cap for H-bar is definitely on the cards. Maybe not for 2025, but definitely for 2030. So I think that came out to like a $4.50 token. Okay, good to know. Good to know you're liking the content. That's great. Thanks for the feedback, fellas. I want to say, for the record, anyone that's interacted with me privately knows I say this in every single one of my calls. please just let me know if you don't like, if you want to see something changed, if you want to see something updated, new content, revitalize old content. You know, I might not directly respond to you. If I see it, if my team picks up on it, we will make it a reality. USA Trucker here. Awesome, man. Crypto Trucker. I get the name now. Of course. I've always thought about being a trucker, to be honest with you. I've thought about many things, and I actually think about being a trucker like a lot. Actually, it's very surprising. It's actually kind of surprising how much I think about that. Every time I pass a semi-truck, I think to myself, how fucking awesome would it be just like cruising around in a truck with like your partner in like one of them like fully like sustainable trucks, just like saving money on a mortgage, saving money on bills, just sacrificing and living a very close-knit life for a couple years, making some bank, and then if you can sacrifice a few years of your life, whether it's now or like whether it might be something so superficial like not eating McDonald's every fucking second day like I've done in the past, the recent past, and you reinvest that money into something, you will be thankful for it. The way I think of it, and you guys should definitely think about this too, is in the bull run, imagine it like this. Imagine every $1 you save now, every one TV remote, this is an aircon remote, you save now, you get 100 of these back in 2 years. Or let's just be reasonable. Like let's say 15, 20 of these. It's literally insane to think of it like that. Like you're literally printing money if you do it correctly. Jack says, make content about portfolio reviews and exit strategies. So exit strategies, okay guys, I don't want to keep saying this because I do think I'm repeating myself with this, but I am coming out with an exit strategy and price predictions that is updated every single day. I'm going to go in there, update these when things change, move them around myself. There's going to be over 30 projects, and there'll be an ever-growing list as well for you guys very soon. But yeah, I will be doing more exit strategy videos soon. And they're one of the more easy videos for me to make. So I definitely can just do them every week, for sure. Portfolio reviews too. That would be fun. So Jack, also man, guys, click the link in the description or in the pinned tweet because we have an AMA after this. That's the time when we should be talking about portfolios. If you have portfolios you want to quickly talk about, jump in there and then we'll talk about them. Even if you're up there and say, hey, these are my projects, this is my buy-in price, no one's going to shit on you. And if someone shits on you, then I'll shit on them because that's not cool, right? We're all here to learn. Dillbob, exit strat for the next run. Most definitely. I've got a whole thing coming out for that, brother. Don't worry, I got you. Mate, check out EGLD XDay 2023 partners. Something big must be coming. What do you think? AWS, Google Cloud, XLR. Yeah. Okay, I will. Yeah, see, because I was supposed to review XDay last year, and that felt like 2 seconds ago. So I'll most definitely have a look at that, man. I'm a little bit behind on my MultiverseX news. I actually think I've got a live stream. I think the AMA might actually start here soon. By the way, guys, join the Discord again. This will be starting. It probably might even be starting now. I hope not. I think I have to actually start it myself, but jump in. Links down below. Dan Lee, brother, appreciate that. $2.99. Thank you for the donation. Thanks for your helpful videos, legend. My man, I appreciate that a lot. Didn't even ask a question, just saying thanks. That means a lot, brother. Thank you so much. I hope you really find a good value out of it, and if there's anything that you need, let me know, man. Absolutely. I'm not an easy guy I take a while to get back to you, but when I do, I want to make sure there's value there. Is Gala dead, Andrew says? Okay, I don't really think Gala's dead. Let's just, before we end, because we have to end this stream, guys, because we're gonna have some people waiting on the Discord here soon. For the AMA, but is Gala dead? Whew, let's have a look. Let's peep. Here's the thing. This is what I have to account for as well, because lots of different things can pop up in an instant. Like, look at this. Gala could have been the most bullish project in the world, and I get it. I've spoken about Gala before. A lot of people have as well. This is an unforeseeable event. People are not going to be able to predict this, but this is what we have to kind of take into consideration, right? As part of our analysis. If you're someone that's like buying a project, let's just say it's 100 mil market cap right now, and you're expecting it to be nothing but sunshine and rainbows in the bull run, you could be very, very wrong there. If something bad comes out, those projects, when they pump, when they haven't been a high market cap before, when they don't have the support really there, the true lovers of the project, you know what's going to happen? It's going to go up and it's going to come down twice as fast because there is no real support there. You know, there's no foundation. Yeah, it might have all the TA levels in the world, but markets come down to psychology, and psychology is all about, you know, human emotions. And if there's no one invested in the project, like actually emotionally invested in the project, it's just going to... everyone's going to sell. So Gala. I mean, look at this, guys. Always click the 12-month. Click the 12-month, because pretty much any price before this was essentially... what are we at now? 21st of the 9th. Yeah, you see, it's all up from there. So this will give us a good... so we're lower than what it was back at the start of the year, which is crazy to think of. Crazy to think. I remember looking at these prices before, thinking to myself, oh my god, the first of this year, so cheap. Yeah. Look, don't get it confused, man. It's definitely a big thing that's happening right now. It's not a small thing, you know. It's not like, oh, Gala could, you know, if they just agree on, what have I done? If they just agree on like the issue at hand, from what it sounds like, from what I've read, it's actually like a very big problem that these two parties are having with each other. Like, there's actually some big issues there. So I don't know if they'll actually come to some sort of civilized agreement. To me, it sounds like one's going to die over the next. And if the guy that's suing the Gala founder or that company wins, that owns like 40% of the tokens, what do you think he's going to do? Is he going to, like, what, you know, like, what's going to happen? Is he going to dump? Is he going to be pissed off? Is he going to take it personally and say, you know what? Screw you, bro. I'm just going to dump all my 40% of my equity on the open market and screw your project. It's going to lose all credibility, because people do that. People are crazy. You know, it's like, imagine Satoshi threatening people if it was a real person. Like, oh, you guys aren't buying Bitcoin, hey? All right, well, you know, obviously not in the same situation. So anyway, it's kind of like, it's almost like a potential hostage situation here, and just be careful. I mean, don't just assess why you bought in. Again, if you can't write down like 1 to 2 sentences as to why you bought Gala Games, like actual reasons, not ABS Crypto, House of Crypto, and Jake Gordon Crypto, they all said to buy Gala, because that's not a good enough reason. It's got to be Gala's founder, X experience, and X da-da-da-da. Gala's producing 2 to 3 games per year that are, you know, classified as AA quality games, da-da-da, and the no's, whatever it might be, right? So you got to have actual reasons. How many times do you think about the Roman Empire? I almost moved into that when I was talking about being a trucker. I almost brought that up. I probably think about the Roman Empire. I'm not even kidding you guys. I actually was laughing at people saying once a day. I was like, that's so stupid. And then my partner actually asked me, because I was laughing at her about it. She's like, how many times? I was like, I was prepared to say never. But I thought about it and I was like, actually probably once a month. It probably just crosses my mind, to be honest with you. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, it's a TikTok trend. Apparently men everywhere think about the Roman Empire all day, every day. NS, what's up, Karen from the USA? Welcome. Welcome, brother. We are actually about to close up here soon, because everyone in the AMA chat's going to be like, where is the man? Probably guys are in here anyway, so. Oh, I get it. So Luke was responding to the... Luke reckons once a day. Once a day to the Roman Empire question. Andrew, I appreciate you for watching, man. You got no idea. Without you guys watching, I wouldn't be able to be here talking to you guys right now, you know. Yeah, as Tony said, jump in the Discord if you're interested. Gala has so much good games, though. Huge movie partners, too. Yeah, Trucker, I think, you know, if you have the conviction like you sound like you do, absolutely no problem in this case. So Caden Boy says it's the fear. Yeah, so I agree with you on that. People think it's going to fail. It typically fails. That's my only concern with Algorand, but overall, like fundamentally, Algorand's a fantastic, solid project. Really is. Good morning from America. Up to 4:50 a.m. checking charts, buying stuff before work, 18-hour days. That, Bruce, that is what I want to hear, my friend. I love when I hear people on the grind. I absolutely fucking love it, man. Like, literally puts a smile on my face. My editor, my YouTube editor, I remember he hit me up. And he's telling me about what he's doing and how much he works and how young he is and stuff like that. I'm just like, I just put a massive smile on my face. It's just good to see people putting in the work, because it's not easy. So altcoins nearly always do worse during their second bull run as compared to their first. Stop shilling coins that have already reached their all-time high. Well, brother, I can tell you're obviously inexperienced at what you're talking about. Shazam, brother. I mean, I'm sorry. I apologize if you are a woman. You've got no idea what you're talking about, man. Because have you factored in what you just said? Have you factored in? You're looking at the past here. You're looking at the past as if it's gonna always impact the future in perpetuity. You know what I'm saying? What you've essentially said there is, hey, forever, if they're an old project, it's not going to hit its all-time high again. Okay? Doesn't make any sense. It's always about utility. It's always about growth, building. The reason we didn't see, and we might not see some of this play out again for some of these average projects, is simply because it's a speculation-based environment. Right? That's it. It's a speculation-based environment. So if you would have said the same thing, like, would you have said the same thing to me about Ethereum? So, you know, when we're talking about what you're saying here, I get it, because a lot of these projects won't. A lot of the projects won't because they're just average projects. Okay, but I'm telling you right now, the ones that we look at on the channel most in particular, they're the projects that are actually building. Okay, and if you are correct, right, and the projects that we talk about, they don't do as well, they shit the bed in 2025, right? Let's just say they have the utility, they're building for the long term. That's the goal. Look at the past too, lol. You look at when, and I apologize for touching on this, but I think it's probably pretty good point to talk about because a lot of people do have this similar opinion. You look at the past when setting the optimum time to buy, which I agree with. I said most alts follow that pattern. Did I say that it happens with all of them? I don't know, did you? You said altcoins nearly always do, so I'm assuming that when you said the word altcoins, you meant all of them. You didn't really specify that some altcoins, right? But of course, I look in the past. You have to look in the past to indicate the future. But what you're saying there is that if it's point blank, what you're saying is if it's had a bull run before, it's not going to hit the all-time high again, which is just a complete fallacy. That is how you get people wrecked too, because people believe that shit. Right? And then they believe that, and then they just, all their opinions go out the window. You got to find the right projects. Somewhat of what you're saying is correct, but I think for the most part, that's a pretty dangerous mindset to have for the quality projects. Again, we're looking for speculation-adverse projects. We're not looking for projects that are completely utility-based. Anyway, that's besides the point. Okay, brother, that's all right. I'm not going to touch more on that topic. That's fine. That's fine. We're not going to see eye to eye on that. That's all good. I think we kind of do see eye to eye, but yeah. But I think you probably think it happens to more projects than what it does. Yeah, and as Chaka mentions, it matters when you buy. That's a really big tipping point. It matters when you buy, that's for damn sure. Because then you can, even if it doesn't hit its all-time high, for example, like say you buy whatever, like let's say Monero, or let's say, what's a project here? Let's say Tezos or BitGet token or Neo, Flow, Chili's, maybe even, right? They might not hit their all-time high again. And it all depends as well on, of course, the supply. But if you buy them cheap enough, you're going to make the multiples back anyway. Yeah, no problem. But I think we do see eye to eye on this, but maybe it's, yeah. I think we might still just see a little bit. You might think it maybe happened to me, and it's fine. We share a similar opinion, but it's just slightly adjacent. It's part of the game. Guys, I think the chat slowed down here a little bit. I'm not too sure. I appreciate everyone sending messages, but I just don't understand what language you might be speaking in there. So I'm going to close up the shop. Actually, we're right on the dot. It's an hour. We've been an hour. So everyone, appreciate you all. Remember, come over. Pardon me, Jesus. Come over to the Discord. We're going to have the AMA session on now. Talk for a while over there, and we can, of course, go through some of your portfolios. You can ask me questions. The beautiful thing about it is verbally. Right, instead of through text. Okay, thanks so much, guys. Talk to you all soon. Have a great